Why did Noah curse Canaan? Also, what is the nakedness of Noah? This whole thing that we see in Genesis chapter 9. A lot of people get confused when they read these passages. So why not read them all together? And this is Genesis 9 verses 20 to 29. Then Noah began to be a man of the land and planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine and became drunk and uncovered himself inside his tent. Then Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took the garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces turned backward, so that they did not see their father's nakedness. Then Noah awoke from his wine, and he knew what his youngest son had done to him. So he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. He shall be to his brothers." And he said, "Blessed be Yahweh, Father God, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." Well, there's a lot of things that seem confusing here, right? Firstly, if Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, why is Canaan being cursed out? Also, why is, in verse 24, Noah saying he knew what his youngest son had done to him, and thus he curses out Canaan? This all seems very confusing if we read it from our modern interpretations. A lot of people even assume that Canaan did SA on Noah or Ham, or they were both involved in that. Again, this is because we're reading from a modern interpretation, but that is not what this passage is about. What if I told you that nakedness was not even a physical nakedness that's going on here? This is because the Bible literally tells us what is the nakedness of a man. Leviticus 18 verses 6 to 7. None of you shall approach any blood relative of his to uncover his nakedness. I am the Lord. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father. That is the nakedness of your mother. She is your mother. You are not to uncover her nakedness. What does this all mean? Well, it is clearly stated that the nakedness of the father is the nakedness of the mother. She is your mother. You are not to uncover her nakedness. If you read Leviticus 18 in context and all of these verses, this is clearly referring to incest. So going back to verse 22, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father. Now, because we read Leviticus and we have this additional context, we understand that uncovering the nakedness is actually referring to an incest relationship. We also got to understand that the nakedness of a man or a father is the nakedness of his wife. She is your mother. You are not to uncover her nakedness. So what actually took place here is that Noah got drunk from the wine. Then Ham, the father of Canaan, actually slept with Noah's wife, his own mother, Ham's own mother. And Canaan was the offspring of that relationship, that forbidden relationship that shouldn't have happened. And we know this to be the case because the name of Canaan is not mentioned when everyone is gathering to get into the ark. And Noah planted his vineyard right after that. So Canaan is the result of this wicked relationship that took place between Noah's son and his mother. Now there's another layer to this. Because Canaan is the firstborn of Ham, what Ham was actually trying to do is likely to hijack the power from Noah, because the firstborn inherits the largest portions according to our biblical history. This is why you see mentions of the firstborn throughout the Exodus. You see mentions of the firstborn even in the sacrificial system in the Old Testament. Also with Abraham and Isaac, right? We see the mention of the firstborn again and again and again. And this is for a reason, right? So through Canaan, Ham was trying to hijack the power from Noah and become sort of like this head of the household, of the whole family. Take the blessings for himself. He wanted to take the crops, whatever his father's work was, as well as the respect of the rest of his family for himself. And so this is really a messed up and sinful situation, and the Bible is not affirming this situation, but rather it is recording this as a historical event. The same thing happens with what happened with Lot and his daughters. It is not affirming this, but it is rather recording this in history. So what Ham did was a very sinful and twisted and wicked act. But I wanted to clarify, because a lot of people think that Ham or Canaan did SA on Noah, and this is not the case if we read the Bible in context and we also read with discernment in mind.